Deja vu, y'all. It is my pleasure to be here with you today. I'm the Reverend Kimberley Debus, and I invite you to rise in body and spirit and sing our opening hymn, Joy in the Morning, with gusto and love and joy and harmony and sheet music. We need. I didn't riff long enough. You'll find joy in the morning, joy in the morning, joy in the morning, in the morning we'll find joy. We find hope in our children, hope in our children, hope in our children, in our children we find hope. We find strength in each other, strength in each other, strength in each other, in each other we find strength. There is love, there is love all around. Oh, there is love all around us, love all around us. God, there is love. Thank you. You may be seated.
Good morning. Welcome to Community Unitarian Universalist Congregation at White Plains. I am Tracy Brenneman. My pronouns are she, her. I serve as the religious educator for this congregation, and this morning Nikki Clemens and I are serving as worship associates. It was wonderful to be together yesterday for the installation. Our deep, deep appreciation to everyone who planned and set up and stayed late and cleaned up, and to Diane and Willow, who had 14 children in childcare. And it was lovely to be here with all of you who were here and online. A beautiful celebration of Reverend Danielle's ministry and this community. We gather in the light of 4 truths. It's a blessing you were born. It matters what you do. Your experience of the divine is true, and an important reminder, you don't have to go it alone. Those watching on Zoom will find an order of service on our website. For those here in person, if you haven't done so, please silence your phones. If you are new and visiting us online this morning, please take a moment to click the link in the chat and let us know how you'd like to be involved. If you're new and visiting us in the room, please stop by the welcome table to say hello. Part of being in community is sharing our lives with one another. All are invited to share a joy, sorrow, or milestone on the book in the book on the fireside area. For those on Zoom, please follow the prompts in the chat. This morning, we are delighted to welcome Reverend Kimberley Debus back to our pulpit. She was our sabbatical minister 2019 to 2020. She was one of our interim ministers 2023 to 24. And along with her community ministry, she serves the UU congregation in Cedarhurst outside Baltimore. Welcome to the warmth of this community and this sacred hour of worship.
Our opening words come from the Reverend Caitlin Cotter Coylberg. So many of us have been seeing red recently. Red as the blood spilled from gun violence, rocking us again and again with the anguish of lost lives, of scared students and workers, teachers and parents.
Red is the hats worn in gleefully hateful spews of nonsense, threatening to destroy all that is sacred, all that is kind and competent, all that is peer-reviewed and sensible.
We breathe together in the face of this sea of red, refusing to let our anger and our grief and our fear mist our eyes, looking again for what shines about us.
Ready to dance through these waters to seek our mutual liberation, for we indeed see red everywhere. Sparkling red.
Red as the ruby slippers and bright lipstick worn by friends of Dorothy, our LGBTQ kin who have always been here and will always be here. Red as the vestments and high heels of female clergy, following their vocation, even in the face of resurging misogyny.
Red as the roses in our gardens, reminders of the beauty of interdependence, of all we can grow together, of all we fight for, of all power of community and mutual aid.
Red as the bandanas worn around the necks of striking mine workers 100 years ago. Red as the markers and paints used by CDC workers walking out in support of public health and DC residents refusing to bow to occupation.
Red is the blinking lights on legislative answering machines filled up with calls and voicemails as never before. Red is the color of resistance, of rebellion, of courage.
We reclaim red and we carry it forward. Forward for all of us, not for the selfish few.
Forward in ferocious hope.
Forward in possibility. It's up there.
We begin our service in shared ritual, lighting our chalice, the symbol of Unitarian Universalism tradition. As we light our chalice up front here, we invite our young people to light the chalice in the family area, and for you at home to light your chalice or candle. It is now when we are called as witnesses of the world to mend it, to change its course, to restore it. It is now when we are called to act on our values, not to hide, not to fear, but to hold and loud. It is now that we are called to continue our fight for justice, to organize, to speak up. It is now. Let us gather. Let us give each other courage. Let us worship.
Now invite you to rise in body and spirit again to sing Do You Hear, number 112 in our hymnals. In the heights on the Thank you. Maybe so.
Would you like to come up for a story? Would you like to join me up front? Come on. Come on, come on. Because I'm going to need your help for one part. I'm going to need a lot of help for one of the parts. Okay. Our story this morning is The Rooster Who Would Not Be Quiet by Carmen Agradidi. Yes, ma'am. You love this book? Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Okay, so you know what's coming then, right? Okay. Once there was a village where the streets rang with song from morning until night. Dogs bayed, mothers crooned, engines hummed, fountains warbled, and everybody sang in the shower. They did. Everyone and everything had a song to sing. This made the village of La Paz a very noisy place. It was hard to hear, it was hard to sleep, it was hard to think, and no one knew what to do. So they fired the mayor. Now they had a noisy village without a mayor. So they held an election. Only Don Pepe promised peace and quiet. He won by a landslide. The next day, a polite law appeared in the village square. No loud singing in public, por favor. Things were getting better already. But then more laws followed, which were not so polite. Signs that read, no loud singing at home, then no loud singing, then no singing, and then basta, quiet already, until finally the noisy village of La Paz was silent as a tomb. Even the tea kettles were afraid to whistle. Some people left the village singing loudly. Others stayed behind and learned to hum. The rest were just grateful to have a good night's sleep, for crying out loud. 7 very quiet years passed. Then, one evening, a saucy rooster and his family wandered into the village and roosted in a fragrant mango tree. When the little rooster arose the next morning, he did what roosters were born to do. He made the sound that roosters make. What sound do roosters make? Awesome. Thank you for helping me. As his rotten luck would have it, the mango tree grew beneath the cranky mayor's window. Uh-oh. You there, growls Don Pepe at the rooster. No singing, it's the law. Well, that's a silly law, said the merry Galito. Smell this sweet mango tree. How can I keep from singing? Then I'll chop down that stinky tree, huffed Don Pepe. Will you sing then? The plucky rooster shrugged. I may sing a less cheerful song, but I will sing. And he did. Ready? Kikiriki! Kikiriki! That's awesome. Still singing, rooster? Snapped Don Pepe. You have no tree, remember? I have no tree, said the Galito, but I have my hen and chicks. How can I keep from singing? Will you sing if I throw you in a cage alone? Threatened Don Pepe. I may sing a lonelier song, said the stubborn Galito, but I will sing. And he did. Kikiriki! Kikiriki! Why are you singing now? Growled Don Pepe. I have taken away your hen and chicks. That makes me very sad, the Galito sighed, but I still have corn to eat. I must sing. And if you have no corn, said the mayor, I may sing a hungrier song, said the headstrong Galito, but I will sing, and he did. I'm taking away your food now, said Don Pepe. Of course, said the Galito, but if the sun is still shining despite the world's troubles, how can I keep from singing? And if you never see the sun again, snarled the mayor, and he ran for a blanket to cover the rooster's cage. Oof. I may sing a darker song, the brave rooster called after him, but I will sing. And he did. As the rooster song echoed down the otherwise soundless streets of La Paz, it stirred an old, familiar longing for a time when everyone and everything had a song to sing. Not so with Don Pepe. Singing gave him indigestion. What is indigestion? Yeah, you got like a tummy ache, right? The next day, Don Pepe stumbled out to the yard in his nightshirt. He tore away the blanket and said, "You have no tree to roost in, no hen and chicks to comfort you, no grain to fill your belly, no sun to drive away the shadows. Why are you still singing?" One by one, the quiet crowd began to gather to Don Pepe's yard. I sing for those who dare not sing, said the Galito. If I must sing for them as well, Señor, how can I keep from singing? And if I have made you into soup, the mayor thundered, I suppose you'll still sing if you're dead? The entire village held its breath, waiting to hear for the Galito's reply. Dead roosters sing no song, he said. Ha! Ha! Crowed Don Pepe, sure he had won. But a song is louder than one noisy little rooster and stronger than one bully of a mayor, said the Galito. And it will never die as long as there is someone to sing it. And there was. So once again, there was a village where the streets rang with song from morning until night. This made for a very noisy place, and that was just the way they liked it. I love that story. So, while folks are getting our rainbow path ready, I'll tell you that you're going to follow Christine to Fellowship Hall. This morning you have a social action activity with Carolyn. Yeah, you're going to make food for people who don't have enough money to afford it, for Hope Kitchen.
Nice.
Thank you for doing that. You're making meal bags. So as we sing our recessional, you can walk right through. Christine will lead you.
May your mind be open to new learning. May be loved. May your mind be open to new learning. May your lips speak truth into the world. May your heart grow love and your hands do the work of justice as you go your way in love. As you go your way in love.
Thank Thank you for the bubbles, Rachel. As people of faith, we are called to nurture into being a community held by love and justice, where we interact through compassion and kindness, and where we find a sense of belonging. And the love we cultivate here reaches beyond these walls as we carry our values into the world and create more spaces for belonging. Giving is one way we express our values. Your generosity, large or small, supports the ministries of this congregation and helps us nurture community beyond our walls where we can connect and flourish. Our September plate share is with the Interfaith Council of New Americans Westchester. ICNA, as it's known, has been working in Westchester for 9 extraordinary years, helping refugee families build new lives here. While we usually celebrate stories of welcome, this year the work has shifted. Instead of greeting many new arrivals, we are working with families already here who face uncertainty, those awaiting work permits, permanent residency, those whose status has been called into question after years of waiting, and even those suddenly left without support. In some cases, we have become their only safety net, covering rent, food, and basic needs. This difficult and costly work is vital in helping our new neighbors feel safe and secure. We hope CUUC will continue to work with ICNA in this commitment of care and solidarity. Thank you for your donations.
let us take a breath and feel ourselves grounded a little. The Reverend Micah Busey asks, can you let your voice crack? You know, like really crack. Like you were going for a note you knew you probably couldn't hit, and then just as you accepted, just as you'd accepted that you might actually achieve ecstatic, angelic audio, your vocal cords were like, nope. And something shattered. The noise tattered and cracked, and shitty sound glittered down all around you in one enormous embarrassed pile of popped pride. That's what it will take now, here, when the bullies are bullying every pulpit away from the dispossessed. It's time for the outcast to ease into the spotlight and boldly go for broke. This is not the time for perfectly sung songs. A dearth of daring cacophony might mean our death. We need a chorus that is for us, a rowdy, ride or die outcry, warblers willing to learn to turn into burning balancers of resistance, persistence, and long-distance consistency. Can you let yourself crack? Can you hear your fear and still reach? You might as well say what you need to say. Silence is just a voiceless choice. What are you aching to offer in the opening? What makes us misfits makes us miracles. What divides, disrupts our deluded dreams of being the only diva. What tears us in two, reshapes the space so we can welcome in the work we've yet to do. May it be so. Amen.
The reading this morning that I'm offering is called For When People Ask by Rosemary Watola Tromer. I want a word that means okay and not okay. More than that, a word that means devastated and stunned with joy. I want the word that says, I feel it all at once. The heart is not like a songbird singing only one note at a time, more like a tuvan throat singer, able to sing both a drone and simultaneously 2 or 3 harmonics high above it. A sound that tuvans say gives the impression of wind swirling among the rocks. The heart understands swirl, how the churning of opposite feelings weaves through us all like an insistent breeze, leads us wordlessly deeper into ourselves, blesses us with a paradox, so we might walk more openly into this world, so rife with devastation, this world so ripe with joy.
Something has changed within me. Something is not the same. I'm through with playing by the rules of someone else's game. I'll get on there. About 6 months ago, I took a hard look in the mirror when I was asked by the Bull Run congregation in Manassas, Virginia, a congregation who also knows me well, to preach on the prophecy of Ezekiel from the Hebrew Scriptures. It had been an unfulfilled auction item offered by the minister who wound up leaving before they could deliver it. And because this congregation also got to know me through a sabbatical ministry, they knew I could deliver the goods. Let me tell you, Ezekiel doesn't pull punches. He's writing during the Babylonian exile, which happens in 597 BCE. The Babylonians have taken over Jerusalem and deported thousands of people to a foreign land. Ezekiel, a priest, tells them and the leaders back at the temple in Jerusalem, the prophets have been telling you for centuries you have to get your act together, but you didn't listen, and look at what's happening now. He says trouble isn't on the way, trouble is here, that God is pissed, and anything bad that happens now is on your head. And he uses visions of angels with 1,000 eyes and fiery chariots and wheels in the sky to make his point because nobody is listening. And anything that is gonna happen is because you're not doing right, which includes the inevitable destruction of the first temple in 586 BCE. And Ezekiel comes back and basically tells them, I told you so. Now, I read this book in preparation for the sermon, and I thought about the current state of affairs, and I realized something. I mean, first, of course, I realized that Ezekiel could be writing about the United States today. History echoes. Excuse me. But also, a more personal and unsettling truth emerged. I've spent most of my life being the cowardly lion. Now, not completely. I did spend a lot of my 20s and 30s as an activist for LGBTQ rights, but I was one of the crowd, a supporting character, maybe a glorified extra, really. It was other people who organized and spoke out and put their lives on the line. I didn't use my voice. I was there, but I hadn't found my voice. And that continued even into ordained ministry. I danced around the edges of prophetic sermons and actions, leaning into instead spiritual growth and history and affirmation. But something has changed within me. And I don't know, maybe it's menopause, maybe it's the hostile government takeover, and maybe it's reading Ezekiel and realizing I don't want to be one of the priests left behind in the temple when it's destroyed. And I'm ready to preach the bold sermon. I'm ready to declare and fight for the moral high ground. Are you with me? Amen. All right. Now, some of you may be a little uncomfortable with some of the things I'm going to say, and if it helps, I'm uncomfortable still saying some of it. But I can no longer be silent. I can no longer be ineffective. I don't want to feel like this anymore. I don't want to be like the townspeople of La Paz who fell silent. I want to be the rooster. And what I want to crow about is essentially what I'm doing now, using my voice and my words and my bully pulpit, temporarily, for this hour, using my voice to summon up the courage to stand on the moral high ground and shout out loud against hate and destruction and refusing to be complicit, and talk to good people of faith about how hard complicity is to avoid. We live in a world bombarded with messaging. In 2023, it was estimated that in one day, we take in more information than a person 500 years took in their lifetime. In 2011, in the early days of the explosion of social media, we were already taking in 5 times as much information as people did in 1986. Now multiply that by 5% more information each year over 13 years, and we are talking over 75 gigabytes of information a day. Our brains were not made for this much information, and still it comes in, and some of it is not good. How do we decide what's good and what's not? Because with a hard drive full of information downloading into our brains every single day, it's hard to sort out. And it gets worse because algorithms are getting better and better and showing us what somebody else wants us to see. Algorithms developed as marketing tools now become tools of propaganda. There are many examples. I want to take an example that's really live right now, and that is that young men and boys are indoctrinated into patterns of toxic masculinity and misogynistic thinking and violence. So, imagine you're a teenage boy who has recently gotten into video games. Awesome. Start playing on isolated consoles. But soon you can connect to others in a chat. Maybe there are audio connections. Maybe you get a little bullied, or maybe you learn how to bully other players. And then there are Discord servers and Reddit threads. And through subtle manipulation and propaganda, those who are pushing a more toxic message offer ideas around how men are the real victims and feminism is evil. And soon you're watching videos of dating coaches telling you the only way to get a date is to manipulate and gaslight women. And soon those coaches are also touting messages of white supremacy and homophobia. But by now you've trusted them because they're appealing to your natural doubts and the questions that every teenager has. And they've convinced your algorithms that you want to see more of this. And so it's all you see. And soon you think like this and talk like this. Now you've been radicalized, and not in a good way. And then maybe they're convincing you that you have to resolve the problems and take actions because you're a lone wolf. And it's your right to destroy the women and black people and queer folk who made you a victim. And then you learn from them about guns, powerful guns. There are ways, of course, to combat this. Interrupting the victim story, teaching emotional literacy, modeling healthy masculinity, teaching digital literacy, building opportunities for belonging that don't require being online, like clubs and teams and youth groups. And of course, bigger solutions, better gun control, and better government programs to combat violence and indoctrination. And this is just one example, because people are being radicalized. And the algorithms and the people who want to give you that propaganda are coming in from all sorts of directions. And yeah, it doesn't always go to this extreme. But it's possible. We know it's possible. The news tells us it's possible. And to some degree, we're all affected by propaganda. And sometimes we find ourselves believing things or saying things that our moral code knows isn't true, but without realizing it, we're making an off-color joke, or we're thinking, oh, maybe a woman slept to the top, or they're just not intellectual enough. And then before we know it, we're not believing them when they stand in a group on the steps of the U.S. Capitol and tell about the childhood sexual abuse they suffered at the hands of powerful and rich men. We don't actually believe that, but because we take in so much information and the algorithms have a field day and subtly feed us what others want us to see. And some of that shifts our behaviors and language in subtle and harmful ways. We'd like to think we're immune from propaganda, but especially with our reliance on a responsible search for truth and meaning. But there is a psychology behind it. So I'm going to invite you to try a little experiment. I want you to close your eyes. We're going to count to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now open your eyes and look around quick. How many things did you see that are red? Do you see red? I know red showed up again. Okay? Maybe you've gotten 8 or 9 things, 6 or 7 things red. All right. Now close your eyes again. Just wait for a second. And now open your eyes and quickly find blue. In just a count of 6, how many blue things do you see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. Okay. Now, one more time. Close your eyes. Maybe, before that, maybe you found a few more blue things than you did find red things, right? Because we're getting used to doing it. Now close your eyes again and don't look. How many things do you remember seeing that were green? Does anybody remember anything green? A few of you do. Probably not many, not as many red, not as many blue. And you didn't remember because you didn't focus on green or any other color. I told you to focus on red and blue. You keep getting told to look for certain things so you don't see the rest. That was a little bit of propaganda. That was a little manipulation. And that happens all the time. We're told to see. And we're told what to see. This is what's happening. The fact that tech bro billionaires control so much of the information we see means they get to decide the messages we should take in. It's why many of us canceled New York Times and Washington Post subscriptions in the run-up to the election because the tech bro billionaires owned those papers and decided we didn't need to see stories or editorials. And more recently, The tech bros and their billionaire friends are controlling other kinds of media, including network media, by which I mean ABC, NBC, and CBS, by which I mean asserting their control over who can say what on late night television. Because as George Orwell taught us, whoever controls the words controls the world. I mean, we've known this since 1948 when the book came out. And George Lakoff in the early 2000s told us that how discourse is framed matters. The example I turn to is how in 1995, newly named House Speaker Newt Gingrich insisted that his party use dehumanizing words to refer to their political opponents. Words like evil, decadent, debauched, and inflammatory language to describe ideas like calling the estate tax the death tax, or calling people illegal, or calling welfare government handouts, to create a frame and control a narrative. A narrative we've been fighting for a long time. Now here are some truths. First, we have the moral high ground. We do. And honestly, the people who are trying to convince you that authoritarianism is the way now know that we have the moral high ground. They know they can't fight against what is right, and so it's why they're working so hard to control the messaging. And we know that pluralism is key to this. It is now one of our core Unitarian Universalist values. And it's the way we have survived as a species, learning from multiple people, multiple cultures, holding more than one idea, valuing a multiplicity of experiences and beliefs. And right now, our pluralism doesn't exactly help anyone control the world, because pluralism isn't about control. Now, we know the struggles of this messaging, these two kinds of messaging. If we followed democratic politics in the last 50 years or so, we know that the big tent doesn't lend itself to one single message. I remember in the early days of The Daily Show, one of the correspondents put 24 Democrats in a room and asked each of them, what is the single most important issue? And every single one of them made a different choice. Climate change, women's rights, reproductive rights, immigration, the list goes on. But when your primary issue is power, well, that's easy. You have one message. A single authoritarian message can be galvanizing. And much like our gaming teen, it's easy to convince people that they're the victim and that only a certain group of people can fix it. And you have to follow them. Until, of course, those people go to college and meet other people who aren't like them, or read a book with other ideas, or suddenly lose government benefits, or find out their neighbor has been disappeared to a detention facility, or discover that the shooter is one of them, or that free speech isn't for everyone. Because those things are counter to this authoritarian propaganda, because while they are trying to control the words, ultimately it's a paper tiger. Times columnist Jamel Bowie reminds us that the idea that we are in an authoritarian state is in itself propaganda. He notes that they keep messing it up, and we keep successfully pushing back in talk, in the news, on the streets, in the courts. No, we are not there yet. He says we're not there yet. He says they are hoping that if enough people believe it's real, it will become real. And we must have the courage to push back. We have to keep protesting, whether in the courts, in the streets, or with our dollars. Yes, our economic power told Disney and Sinclair that free speech matters. We can't let up on the pressure. We have to keep owning the words, refusing to buy into their frames. Marketing strategist Rebecca Arbona reminds us that naming is not neutral. It's an act of framing, an attempt to shape how we think and feel and respond. That's why it's so important to push back when language is manipulated for political gain. The Associated Press's refusal to use Gulf of America isn't just about journalistic integrity. It's about resisting an attempt to rewrite reality. It is an attempt to push back against propaganda and the algorithms that tell us to be complicit. And so as Unitarian Universalists, we have a responsibility to speak up and speak out. And we've done this before. Last week, UU World's executive editor, Kristen Cox-Roby, wrote that democracy depends on protecting voices that those in power seek to silence. She reminds us of our history. Unitarian Universalists, she says, have been here before, and we acted in accordance with our values to support the First Amendment. In 1971, when the federal government tried to block the Pentagon Papers from being made public, the UUA's own Beacon Press, alongside Senator Mike Gravel, published the full record. According to Beacon, as a result of publishing the papers, President Nixon personally attacked Beacon Press. The director of the press was subpoenaed to appear at Daniel Ellsberg's trial, and J. Edgar Hoover approved an FBI subpoena of the entire denomination's bank records. We have an FBI file. Excuse me. But our faith stood firm. We will help reduce the likelihood of our nation becoming involved in a similar situation, said then UUA President Robert West. In other words, transparency and truth are not optional. They are acts of moral courage. Moral courage. Speaking truth to power, refusing to stay silent, and knowing we are grounded in love. Gotta get up. We don't want to be the people in the temple that Ezekiel's throwing shade at because we complied with those who want to control us. We say no. We cannot ignore what's happening right now. The prophets have been warning us for millennia. This moment is calling us. This is a moral moment, and we have the moral high ground. And yes, there is so much to do. It can be paralyzing, but we don't have to do it alone. As Unitarian minister Edward Everett Hale once said, "I am only one, but I am still one. I cannot do everything, but I can still do something. And because I cannot do everything, I cannot refuse to do the something I cannot do." Do what you can. It is time. Find your courage. It is time. Speak out. It is time. Join me in this. What you can do might be different from what others can do, but do what you can. It is time. Our faith tells us that we fight for justice and equity, so we must do what we can. It is time. We will fight for the outcasts and the vulnerable. It is time. We will fight for the lonely and the hurting and the desperate. It is time. We will fight for the progressive and the moderate and the conservative. It is time. We will fight for the teacher and the civil servant and the soldier and the veteran and the researcher and the healthcare worker. It is time. We will fight for those fortunate enough to be born here and those who seek to call this place home. It is time. We will fight for those facing food scarcity and housing scarcity. It is time. We will fight for the health of every single person and the health of this planet. It is time. We will combat hatred and ignorance and violence with overwhelming and powerful love. It is time. We will not become a people at war with the world, but for it. It is time. We will fight for everyone. It is time. We will fight for everything. It is time. We will do everything in our power to love the hell out of this world. It is time. And we start here today with us in this room. It is time for us to reclaim our courage and answer the call. Break's over. We've got work to do. But first, I invite you to sing a new song. A new song from Sing Out Love, Melissa Jeters, helps us to clear our moral high ground with a song called If There Ain't Room. It's got a bit of a swing and it gets a little complex, but I love this rallying cry of courage. So you might have the music or the words on the screen, but let's sing. If there ain't room for me, if there ain't room for you, if there ain't room for me and you, that ain't the place for me, that ain't the place for we. If there ain't room for me and you. People talk inclusivity, inherent worth and dignity. So you gotta make room for this faith to go on. 'Cause if there ain't room for me, that ain't the space for we. You gotta make room for this faith to go on. If my neighbor can't go, if the stranger can't go, if the neighbor and the stranger can't go, that ain't the place for me, that ain't the space for we. Siding with love is a way for you and me. People who love make room, siding with love, there will be room for beloved community. That is a place for me. Siding with love, make room, widen the circle, make room. That is a space for me and you. That is a space for me and you. You gotta make room for love. Amen. Amen.
By Craig Rowland. For those of you online, please extinguish your chalices at home now. As we extinguish this chalice flame, may the warmth of its light remain with us, guiding our steps and our hearts. Let us carry forward the strength of this community, the courage to speak truth, and the hope that transformation is possible. In each breath we take, may we remember that the work of love, justice, and healing is ours to continue, both here and beyond these walls. Go in peace with the light of this gathering to illuminate your way.
We'll have a few words from Kim Force and Dave Morkel. Here she comes.
How many folks have been to an auction here at CUC? Nice. Let's get that to 100%. Adam, can I get a little theme music, please? Not that one, the other one. Wherever you are, and meet the young lady who fell from a star. She fell from the sky, she fell very far, and White Plains, she says, is the name of the star. White Plains, she says, is the name of the star. Well, yes, there had to be a sing-along to begin. Fellow Aussians, this is an officially festivating announcement. It's me, Glinda, the encouragification specialist. My pronouns are she, her, and pink sparkly. It's good to see me, isn't it? Follow the yellow brick road to our thrillifying auction. It is what date? Saturday, November 15th. It's right here in the sanctuary. Your trip to the Emerald City will include a delicious dinner, drinks, and more than a dash of magic. Plus, you'll socialize with your fellow denizens of Oz and bid on differentiations of new items you didn't realize you needed. Now here is my scandalicious ask of you. Attendance. Let's say it together. Attendance. Please let us know you're coming. We have to have a space in the room for you. We absolutely must also plan for any munchkins you might drop off in the nursery. Last year, the capacity in the nursery was devastational. We don't want to lose space for you, and don't make me send a bubble to float you over. The next thing we'll talk about is donations. While considering donating a good or a service, or dare I say, approach a merchant for a marvelicious donation. Think Osmopolitan, teach a class, an Emerald City spa day. Offer a homemade treat, a ticket, you could pet sit, a vacation home via tornado or otherwise, and anything wizardly you could think of. And the third thing we need, this is a real say it together, volunteer. It takes a city of Aussians to make this event happen. We need lots of encourification and planning, help with decorating and planning, and on the auction night itself, lots of help needed there. Your festivating spirit is essential. Sign-ups are both at the table outside and on the website. And speaking of our website, you'll find photos, FAQs for the confusifying stuff, sign-up sheets, and donation forms. And you are encouragified to join the auction committee. And the next meeting is on October 14th, though I think there might also be one online tonight. Yes, it's on the calendar. Now, if you have questions, you can find someone in the Royal Guard who are wearing Ask Me buttons at coffee hour. And let's stop being despondiary. Let's start planning our gathering and our glittering and conjure those costumes. Not mandatory, but so thrillifying. So let's all defy gravity and make this the most osmopolitan and thrillicious night of the year, shall we? Thank you.
Thank you.
She wants to be popular.
Wow, I have to follow that. My name's Dave. I'm from the Safety Committee. As you may have read in the e-Communitarian, we are going to have a fire drill today. Please, please, please participate. I'm going to invite you to stay to the end of Adam's playing today, so you can just sit and enjoy. One of the reasons we do this is to build muscle memory so that you know and remember what you have to do in case the fire alarm goes off. It also sets a great example for the kids who will also be participating in the fire drill. So we're going to evacuate the building. Your fire wardens will guide you, tell you what to do, and then after we're done, and it'll take us all of 2 or 3 minutes, we're going to come back in and have cake. Okay? Thank you.
And I'll remind parents that you don't need to go down the hallway because your children will already be heading out to their safe area. Thank you for being with us today. Today's Grand Pal launch has been postponed until more pals sign up. We encourage intergenerational connections, especially for those who have no extended family locally. You can talk with Enid Press or me, or there are sign-up sheets on the RE Welcome table. Next Sunday is Bring a Friend Sunday. Have you been wanting to invite a friend, neighbor, or someone else to CUUC? Next Sunday is the time to do that. And next Sunday after worship, the membership engagement team will be hosting a newcomer conversation, which will be a chance for guests to find more information out about this congregation and Unitarian Universalism. And next Sunday, the Pastoral Care Associates will lead a pop-up conversation about caregiving for aging parents and loved ones. Our weekly e-Communitarian and RE newsletters offer information about these and other activities at CUUC. We hope you'll take a minute to discover all the interesting and wonderful ways to get involved and connect. It has been a gift to be together today. As we enjoy our parting music, please spend a few minutes talking with someone you don't know. Escort each other to coffee hour and events, and may we all know the blessing of community.
I actually want to start or end us with words from Kimberley Quinn Johnson, who is our newly elected co-moderator of the UUA. We are the ones we have been waiting for. We're not perfect, but we are perfectly fitted for this day. We are not without fault, but we can be honest to face our past as we chart a new future. We are the ones we've been waiting for. May we be bold and courageous to chart a new future. May we have faith in a future that is not known. We are the ones we have been waiting for, and we do need to ease on down the road. Ease on down the road. Come on, ease on down, ease on. Oh, you can't see nothing that might be a load. Come on, ease on down, down the road. Come on, ease on down the road. I can't be the only one who wants to dance. Ease on down the road. Don't you carry nothing that might be a load. Come on, ease on down, down the road. I don't know.